What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first installment ever of Friday Fix. We are at the Robbins Entertainment offices. We're here with our special artist of the week, Bobby Green. What's going on? So we're going to ask Bobby a couple questions and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, who is your biggest musical influence?
Well, I came at music from songwriting and guitar, so that's kind of how I started out. I started out playing guitar and writing songs, and back when I was doing that, my biggest influence was probably John Mayer, just because of the way he wrote songs, and he was a big reason that I got into music. I think he always served as a benchmark for me for how music can touch people, and I think how much of an effect it can have on people. So I was listening to his music in college a lot, and I thought, okay, well, this is something with a lot of value that I really want to do.
So after you found your musical influence, when did you start really producing music?
I started producing in the way that I do today. I started producing really when I came to New York. I think when I was at the studio and just being here in New York, I started picking up influences like Deadmau5 and Cascade, and those guys had a lot of big influence on my production style. And so the way that I produce today, I think that was around that time, around 2009, 2010. When I started producing in a different way and was influenced by those new artists, that's when I started combining the songwriting side of it, which is where I came from, the guitar side of it, and the chord writing, with these electronic sounds that I kind of was taking on.
Very cool. Where would you say your favorite place to DJ is?
Favorite place to DJ? I DJ'd, different places in New York. New York, any place is kind of fun because they're always kind of underground, kind of basement places, and there's always a lot of energy packed into these tiny rooms. Lately I've been so focused on production I haven't done as much DJing, but I'm planning to do a lot more touring and all that in the coming year. Very cool.
So you've been in New York for about 3 years now. What is your favorite bagel place in the city?
Favorite bagel place? Does Chipotle count as bagels? Is that a bagel place?
I don't know if it does, but we'll accept it.
Yeah, I think.
Do they make bagels?
I love Chipotle bagels. You get a bagel burrito, and then you put steak and all that stuff in it. Really good stuff.
I didn't know about this. I'm gonna have to try this.
Chipotle's my favorite burrito place.
All right, so now we're gonna get into the real serious questions. Blondes, brunettes, or redheads?
I gotta go blondes. I feel like I've had a track record that says otherwise, but I'm gonna go blondes.
Okay, can't blame you. All right, so what is your favorite pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping? I've always been a big plain cheese guy, but recently I've gotten into the pepperoni and sausage a little bit.
All right.
When you're trying to stack up and put on some weight, it's good.
You need those calories.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good calories.
So, what type of monitors do you use in your studio?
I use a lot of different monitors. For whether it's producing or mixing.
Right.
It's great to have a lot of different perspectives on your sound. Mm-hmm. And so my main monitors would be a Focal Solo 6. They're a really cool monitor. I love them because there's so much kind of depth in them, and the clarity is really, really good.
Right.
You can hear things that you wouldn't usually hear. You hear details really well. I also have some JBLs. I have some Sony HSM50s. But yeah, it's really about getting that sound to sound different and seeing how it reacts with different systems and all that. Because that's mixing.
Absolutely. Which digital audio workspace do you use when you're producing?
I'm all about Pro Tools. I've used Reason a little bit in the past, and I've learned some tricks and other things. I've worked with Ableton. I do most of my DJing with Ableton.
Right.
But when it comes to producing, I'm all about Pro Tools. I think that coming from a studio, in the classes that I took when I was learning production and all that recording, that was all in Pro Tools. And I think that in the studio, a lot of the mix guys, that's what all the mix guys use is Pro Tools. And so I think that just for mixing and all that, I think it's the best platform, and it's what I'm used to, so I love Pro Tools.
Very cool. So when you're in the studio and you're working on a track and you kind of get stuck, what do you do to overcome that writer's block?
Well, you can approach a song from so many different angles. If I'm running into a block in terms of writing a melody or something, I'll just kind of step back and approach a song from a different angle. There's so many different ways to start a new song. You can start by making the drums, or you can start by writing a melody, you can start by coming up with a story that you want to tell, or anything like that, or mess with synths or sounds. And so there's so many different ways to get at it. You know, if something is not working, I typically just step back and approach it from a different angle or start something new. You know, it's all about just coming at something fresh. I think that creativity can be such like a short-lived thing. You know, when you get in a moment, when you get in that moment where you know what a song is about, you know, you just have to write as fast as you can because you kind of, that's something that stays with you for a short amount of time.
Yeah, just get
There's a short period of time where everything that you're thinking and everything that's coming out of your mind is perfect, you know, and is perfect for that moment, and is perfectly zeroed in on what that song is about. And so you kind of have to just take those kind of things as they come, you know,
right.
Take the creative bumps as they come, you know.
Do you find yourself being in that creative zone more so in the morning or at night?
I'm big on working at night, you know. I wish all the time that I could keep the sun from rising just because I would get so much more work done, you know.
Move to Alaska.
Because that sun rises, and I think that's a big good idea. Or the, you know. But yeah, I think at night is when I get most of my creativity done because I think with the music that I do, it's a very nightlife kind of thing, and so I think that you know, when you're making that music and it's high energy and all that, it kind of feels like a party in itself anyways,
yeah.
And so I think that the night is much more conducive to that, you know.
That's awesome.
And I just feel weird drinking Red Bull in the morning, you know.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a little off.
Different.
But yeah. So we found out this week from our Trivia Tuesdays that you used to play the saxophone in 4th grade to pick up chicks.
Yeah, I did.
Besides that instrument, what instrument do you love playing the most currently?
Well, the saxophone was kind of a short-lived thing.
Right.
Of
course.
There was something wasn't clicking in getting the chicks with the saxophone.
Just wasn't doing it.
There was like some difference between me and Kenny G where it wasn't quite working out. So.
Did you have long hair? Did you have the hair?
I didn't. My hair wasn't long enough. I was
it.
hardly not even old enough to have hair that long at the time. So, but so I had the saxophone for a while. I probably still own my saxophone. But my favorite instrument today to play is definitely the guitar. You know,
right.
Like I said, guitar is what got me into music. And I think that it's a really cool, really expressive instrument, you know, the fact that you can hold it in your hands and it's such an intimate kind of way of playing an instrument. You know, I love piano's great, but you have that degree of separation with the piano where I'm pressing the keys and the keys are pressing the strings that are actually making the noise, you know, making the music. And with the guitar, you actually are touching those strings. And so there's no separation at all between you and the instrument. You can grind it against a guitar amp or whatever you want or scratch on them, but you're directly connected to the music making part of the instrument. And so I think that's what I love about guitar. It's you know, it's such an intimate instrument and it's so expressive. That
Tactile.
that's what I always go back to. That's what I write with, you know.
So Christmas is around the corner. What's Santa bringing you this year?
Let's see. I haven't figured out what to ask him for yet, but
The deadline's pretty soon. You gotta get that in.
yeah, I know. I think so. I was gonna ask him for like maybe like a bagel gift certificate for Chipotle something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do that.
Yeah, I think you could hook me up with just, you know, $20. That could give me about two bagels.
Two bagels.
Two bagels and Chipotle.
Yeah, maybe like 1.5.
I go guac, so I mean, I'm gonna have
yeah.
to pitch in a few bucks, you know. But thanks, Santa. You know.
Yeah, you take what you can get, you know.
But I'd say, yeah, probably. You know, I'm always looking for new speakers too to kind of like give me a new take on stuff. But you know, it's good. It's kind of exciting to always be changing your setup just so you can be learning something else. You know?
So if you won the lottery tomorrow, unlimited funds, what would be the first car you'd go out and buy?
I thought a lot about this. I've been preparing for this question a long time.
Pretty much your whole life.
My whole life.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Lamborghinis. I love them just because they're loud and kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
And they're heavy and they're gaudy. And I think that you know, if you're gonna spend a lot of money in a car, that much money, I think it should be pretty loud.
Yeah.
You know? So
Want to make a scene in it?
I would go with a Lamborghini. I would want to make a scene.
So what is next for Bobby Green?
I got a lot of stuff coming out soon. You know, we just put out Changing Me, which I'm really excited about.
Right.
I've got that. I've got a remix of an artist by the name of Jinx that's coming out soon. And just a bunch of other stuff, a lot of projects that I've been working on. I mean, like I said, I've been focused on production, so it's just about timing and getting everything out there. But yeah, a lot of new music, a lot of remixes, a lot of originals too.
Well, alright dude, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
you.
Yeah, I got something for you actually. This is made by yours truly, by hand, your own personal Bobby Green headband.
Look at this, we matched it.
I've been sewing for a few months. but I think it's ready.
Is this like by hand, like on a loom?
Yeah, well I guess your head size too, I think. Yeah,
like a glove. Like a glove. Thank you so much. This is fantastic. Now we can go to Chipotle and get Chipotle bagels.
Yeah.
With extra guac.
Bagel Bros, man.
That's it. That's it. Well, thanks for watching Friday Fix. Be sure to check out our Instagram account on Monday to find out who the new artist of the week will be. And of course, go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you don't already. For Robbins Entertainment, I'm Chris Spirito. See you next Friday.